struggling with prop firms? Let's go.
Okay, once you have your edge or whatever the strategy you may be using, the number one problem that I see with people is, what trading instrument to use. Now, obviously, I trade the break and retest strategies. Also, my students trade as well. Now, I want to show you something now why the bigger time frames are super important. But obviously, with a simple strategy like the break and retest, how powerful and how simple, right, trading can actually be. Not going to make this video too long, but just going to get straight down to breaking the charts down. So today is the Wednesday, looking at USD CAD. Now, I'm looking at the 15-minute time frame. Now, one huge tip I can give is any confusion, move to the bigger time frame. And I always have this, had this conversation with some of my students. So we can see whatever is green is bullish, whenever it's red is bearish. So that's already removed a lot of the confusion, especially if you're a beginner trader. If I go to the 30-minute time frame, look at this. Now we can get a little bit of a better idea that overall the market is bearish. So even if you didn't see this color, the color codes, you might be thinking, are we actually bearish? Could it possibly reverse? No, we are actually bearish. Once I go on the bigger time frame, the bigger time frames hold more value, more authority, and more presence on the markets, on the charts. Now on the 1 hour, we are very bearish. It's a clear indicator. 4 hour time frame, look at this. I'm not fighting this flow now, right? I'm not fighting this. So what this tells me basically is, okay, we are bearish. I should only be focused on sells. Now on the daily time frame, we are still bullish. Overall it's green, but look at this. All this for the last 2-3 days we've been bearish. So still it makes sense for me to take sell positions, right? So now we got that out of the way. So how can we apply this? Even if I bring in other trading instruments, which obviously I show to my students, we pretty much trade all of these. So if there's you ever come across any confusion, just move on to the next, right? Just move on to the next. Are we bullish or bearish? If you don't know, like at this point here, we should only be focused on sells, and you could have a huge opportunity to catch moves like this. Let me just see where's the one I just drew the zones on, so we can break it down properly. As you can see here, I even mark out like which ones are looking weak, which are looking for the best data. So this is normally my back testing area, but it's also sometimes if a position comes. Now all these are not trades I've got on live right now or anything like that, but obviously while I move them around, then obviously, but in the works, nothing for today. It's super important you mark them out, because when you're trading with quite a few trading instruments, it's very, very important. Also, if you are interested in a one-to-one mentorship from myself, link will be in the video description. This is the elite mentorship. This is obviously locked when you come in the free section. 15 and a half, almost near that 1600 mark. Super active mentorship group. The public side is active, somewhat decent, but the elite mentorship is crazy active. So as you can see here, everyone's posting their winning trades, losing trades. We post our trade ideas. It's crazy. So I won't go into too much of this, but yeah, and if it's too much, I've pretty much made it affordable for anyone and everyone. Obviously I don't work with beginners, but link will be in the video description, and there's there's even a super affordable course for if you still think even though I made it super affordable. But yeah, that course is not going to be there. It'll only be launched on a few special occasions throughout the year. But right now it is active just due to demand. I was about to shut it off, but anyways, come back to the point. I don't want to delve into that too much. Okay, so we got a lot of bearish volume. Now we're turning bullish. So what does that mean? Could we possibly turn bullish? Yes, but I don't want to fight the overall trend. Even though we are bullish on the 1 hour time frame, starting to turn bullish. But on the 1 hour time, I'm getting my words. The time frame is wrong. Okay, so on the 4 hour time frame, we're bearish. So still, we could possibly look for possibilities for sells. But also, you want to focus on something, right? Even though this very well could, right, turn, but you want to focus on swing points as well. It's very important, because yes, we are bearish, but this possibly now can turn and correct itself. Some people might call this. So all these stops here, liquidity, someone might call it, but price just fell up through here, collecting all this. Now price has stopped making lows. What do I mean by this? Look at this. This is an area of support now that has been respected multiple times, and then price has made a new, not a high, you can still call it a lower high, but it's broken these lower high structure here. Price came back down and came back with a lot of volume and broke this high over here. So what do you do in this kind of situation? Do you start taking buys now? No. This is the time when you stop trading, right? I would rather, and so I always tell this to my students, I would rather sit on my hands, or even better, look at a totally different, trading instrument. Like, look at this. See, a super bullish, well, not a super, but a very bullish trend over here on NZD USD. So rather than me trying to figure out, should I start focusing on buys or should I start focusing on sells, should I still be focusing on sells, move over to another one that's very clear. Let's see what Nasdaq is showing. Okay, this is a bit, we've got this huge gap here. Price will at some point try to fill this in. It pretty much already probably has. Again, look at this, bearish, but still it's not super bearish, which I don't like. Let's move on to something else. Maybe we'll find out even better. So we already got NZD USD, right? Look at this. This is not my cup of tea. That's only increasing confusion. If it's not, if it makes you, adds to your confusion, move on to the next. Now we've got gold, very bullish. This is worth, getting your wheat. Can't speak today. Getting your feet wet with. Bearish trend over here. It's very simple, guys. Don't confuse. Some people say only trade one trading instrument with one trend. One trade setup. We can even say one trend as well. One time frame, and 7% of risk. No, I believe in split your risk depending on the probability of the setup, and obviously trade both time frames wherever you identify volume. This is why my traditional way of backtesting doesn't work, because if you go on the smaller time frame, or especially even if you go on a playback, right, price doesn't actually show how much volume is coming in that particular candle on that time frame. It will just plant the candle, right? And it just is what it is. We can't do anything about it. Let's see what DAX 40 is saying. Yeah, we're still bearish though. Still worth taking sells. I just don't like, obviously, when it's bearish, but I just don't like it when the too much of big bullish candles, or yeah, I don't like this at all. Let's see what else. Okay, before it started turning bearish, this would have been beautiful, trying to take advantage of this. So this is what you need to focus on, guys. Don't overcomplicate things. I don't want to make this video too long. We're still only midweek. It's a Wednesday. Obviously, I'll be posting another one very soon, in about not tomorrow but the day after, which I normally do every other day. I post a video straight. But yeah, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. And if you are interested in a one-on-one mentorship, unlimited one-to-one session, by the way, until you become profitable. I don't work for the beginners. You have to have some kind of experience. I'll just point you in the right direction. Yeah, link will be in the video description. Join a very active Discord community. Take care. I'm out.